Big Al going live once again. It's been a while since I've done this. It's crazy. Feels like old school. So we'll wait for people to join us. Hopefully they can join me and say hello. Gotta do this at the start. Keep myself company. And I'm not just talking to myself. So hopefully someone will join very soon. Oh. Hope it's live. You always wonder about the live system sometimes. I haven't done live in such a long time. You kind of wonder sometimes if the YouTube analytics coming. Hello, Amy. Oh, you're the first one. Oh, aren't you class? Did you get a like a notification? Hiya, Kenneth. Hello, Dean. Gadget Gaza. So we are getting notifications then. I just started to think that I was on Lonely Planet on YouTube now, you know. How are you all? How's everything going? Good job. Well done. I'm glad to see you all. This is actually pretty cool because this is probably my first live since way before Christmas. I just thought I'd do a live today while I'm doing some packing. Quite cool day today. Thank you, Gadget. I appreciate that, buddy. Quite a cool day today. I have sold, just in 7 hours, I have sold in 7 hours, I had sold 2 grand's worth of these things. The Freestyle Libras. 2 grand, literally. I went to bed last night about 10 o'clock and I woke up about 5 o'clock with all these sold. 48 of them sold. Couldn't believe it. Absolutely gobsmacked. Amazon. I'm putting them in eBay boxes, but Amazon orders nonetheless. And I crap myself because I'm not advertising. And all I did was I put them on last night. Put them at a discount of approximately, it was only like a 10% discount. But Amazon had sold them all by 5 o'clock that morning. All gone, all sold. So I'm busy packing them. I've no boxes, I've no Amazon boxes, so I'm using eBay boxes. I'm sure the Amazon customers will be mad about that. But hey, it is what it is. So, how yous all been? I haven't really got talking to many of yous about business, about the direction of what's going on. How yous all doing? I know how you're getting on. I hope you're doing some assignments, Amy. Huh? And that you're working your wee cotton socks off in your university. But Kenneth, how you doing? Yeah, see these Amazon, you see these eBay returns? I did. Thank you very much, Moz. Thank you very much. I hope you did too. The eBay returns, I don't get it. I don't understand why eBay are so keen to continue with a high level of returns. I don't understand it, to be honest with you. It sickens the bejeepers out of me. You know, I am and I have been working towards getting my own platform operational, which is a greedless system. Although I must admit, the Vinted system that is currently running is really, really good. Highly advised to start selling on Vinted. The profit margins versus the return system is a lot more profitable. The yield's better. The only problem is, well, how are you, Kevin? How are you, sir? Long time no see, eh? How's my wee man? How you keeping on? Hi, Craig. How are you, mate? Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining me. But yeah, so the Vinted system, to me, is the future. It's a P2P system. So in other words, person to person, which means that you don't actually have to accept returns. Unless you haven't majorly not described it, of course. But if you kept the description right, you shouldn't have to worry about returns with Vinted. I've been selling on Vinted, not majorly, but I've been selling on Vinted nonetheless. And I have found that the returns, oh, well done, Craig, well done. You offer free returns, Moss. That was partial refunds. You see, I don't do partial refunds and I offer returns, but I have to with the eBay system. But regretfully, I ask for everything back. Doesn't matter how much it costs. I will not give the customer the money before they send it. And that avoids scammers, because I know that people raise returns just to hope that you would just say, don't worry about it. Just keep the money, keep the item. That's what they're hoping for. And if we do it as sellers, we are creating our own scam system. We have to take back the returns. And you'll find with my returns, there's a 10% return application with all my stock, both fashion, both books. You get a 10% return system overall on average. But only about 5 to 7% will actually return the item, which means that the 3% are probably trying to scam you. So take back returns, don't offer partial refunds, because that's what they're after. They're hoping they can get a discount again on top of the discounted stuff that they've already done it. You have to basically prevent yourself from being scammed. These are great. I'm over the moon about these. So I found these, listen to this, I found these in one of my cages of stock. So I had a cage of stock, I had lots of cages of stock, which I haven't even touched yet, untouched cages of stock. Was doing my bapping that we're doing, and I was going around fiddling with a mentee of mine, Andrew. He was quite, we wanted to buy some of my stock. But we found 2 boxes of these guys, of the Freestyle Libra bloodless systems. They're like for diabetes. They're about 70 quid each. So I found 2 boxes, 48 of them, in the cages. And I thought, what's going on there? I was gutted when I found out they'd just expired. So I decided to go and look up online, see what was going on. Found out that you still can sell these when they're expired. The expiry date doesn't say they don't work. The expiry date simply says they may not work as well. So I've decided to basically put on a disclaimer with Amazon, the Amazon customers, saying, this is vital, you must read this notice. It's telling the customers, you're going to read it, and if you don't accept it, don't open the boxes, just send them back free of charge, right? And then it's on the conditions as well with the Amazon sale. But I've also put out a README file. That's a bit cacky, that one. But this is a README file, and it's saying that the bottom line is that an expired sensor will still function, sometimes very well. Expiration dates relate to the guaranteed accuracy. Therefore, you have to take an informed decision as to whether you go ahead and do that. So I'm putting these in every single one of them. And every single one of them is 100 quid. It's 100 quid that I never had, because I was going to throw these all out. I couldn't believe it. I was going to throw them out last night. So luck got me. And I suppose I didn't expect the sales to go so quickly. I went to bed about 10 o'clock last night, woke up at 5 to start my day, to find out that they all sold. Every single item, all 48 sensors sold, all gone. Crazy, 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 crazy. So I'm a very happy man today, because the sales today, including the eBay, which I'm not advertising. I've got passive sales with eBay at the minute, and I'm not advertising with eBay, and I'm not advertising with Vinted, and I'm actually not advertising with Amazon either. But the sales that I've got today was just over 2,500 quid so far. So I woke up to 2.5 grand sales. Crazy. So that's my day so far. How yous all doing? What's happening? This will be my first live, so it'll be a bit slow, first of all, because people don't realize I do lives anymore. I'm going to start doing lives hopefully on a Friday morning, because I'm getting most of my work done pre that. Because now I'm working a staffless system. It's a much better system. I make a lot more money for myself, and there's no hassle with holidays, sick pay, that sort of stuff. It's pretty good. So the idea really is to, because I haven't managed to sell this business, and I don't know if you guys know, I had put this place up for sale. So hopefully it will get better. So I'm going to keep this business running until, what have I done here? I'm going to keep this business running until I find a seller, or that I get moving on. So in other words, sell the stock slowly. But to sell this stock solely, there was nearly £1 million. We just dropped below the £1 million now. So yeah, it's quite scary. But I'm making an average of it's between £3,000 and £5,000 a week, just doing about a couple of hours each day. I don't list as much. I list maybe 2 or 3 items a day. It's not major. I'm just basically putting these things in here. I did message in WhatsApp group, bro. Yes, you did, and I said hello, of course. The water bottle thing holds heat. Oh, the water bottle. Is that one of the things I got you? So yes, I'm back on YouTube. I had a lovely holiday. It was a great rest. And now all I need to do is start rebuilding my online platform. The idea really is I'm working toward getting people more informed about making better money on their online sales. Not just with their online sales, of course, with property as well. Remember, property today, and this is the last year, I feel, 2026 is going to be the last time that someone will have a good and fair opportunity to buy a property. If you have money, if you have anyway of about 30 to 40,000 quid, you could go and put a deposit down to get yourself a buy-to-let mortgage. My advice is get a house quickly, because BlackRock and Lloyd's are currently buying up every piece of stock throughout the United Kingdom. They're looking to buy every property and become the largest renter of properties in the UK. Now, good news today, because Donald Trump in America has just banned corporations from becoming landlords, which is great news for Americans, but not for Brits or UKans. The reason is these companies, BlackRock, Blackstone, all these big, massive companies. Hey, Nintendo, welcome to the channel, sir. These people from America, they're all financiers that are also based in London. So they're going to bring that money they were looking to spend that they've just been banned on Donald Trump, and they're going to double down their efforts here in the UK, because the Labour government are allowing these people to actually go ahead and buy every property within the United Kingdom. So there's going to be a housing shortage, and it will be the WEF system, the WEF. Les, how are you? The WEF has said you will own nothing and you will be happy. Now, I didn't believe that. I thought it was taken out of context. However, this is something that I'm seeing more and more every day in regards to how these large corporations have policies that are made at a UK level, at a governmental level, for them to exercise their right to outbuy every single property on the high street or any street in the United Kingdom, which means that you will be renting and banking from the same corporation. So if you didn't pay your credit card that month and you got a credit file push down, you're not going to be able to be a tenant of Lloyd's Living. BlackRock have invested billions. Lloyd's Living have just announced that they are now close to 50,000 properties, owning 50,000 properties, and yet the government have done nothing to stop it, nothing at all. And that ultimately is a big problem for the United Kingdom. Not just for landlords like me. I'm okay. It's going to be okay for me, because if I sell my portfolio to BlackRock, I probably get above prices, and that's the way it works. However, it's people who are starting on the property ladder, and they're not going to be able to afford it because they're getting totally outbeaten by unlimited funds, such as these guys in Lloyd's. So America has banned Blackstone from purchasing American homes. Why do we not have someone like Trump? I have to tell you, he may be an idiot sometimes, but I tell you, some of the stuff he's doing on nutrition and welfare for people in America, it's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And yet the Labour government are allowing BlackRock to come in and soak up every single property. I'm sure it's going to happen in Ireland as well, Les. The situation is, it's not going to change. It's westernization to its finest. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't agree with it. I'm all for people making money, but I'm not all for corporate greed. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk to you guys about. Well, Kevin, I was just talking about America, Lakeland Forum. How are you, Kevin? Donald Trump stopped every single corporation from becoming massive homeowners, which is brilliant. It's a total outright ban. So a corporation cannot do it. So well done you, Kevin. You're living in a great country. I and everyone else in the United Kingdom, sadly, are working in an environment where we're competing with people like, BlackRock. They are. So, Les, you got it right. It is. And I'm not happy about it. I'm always for people making money. But greed is something I do not agree with. Greed is something that is vile, and it's becoming more and more vile in westernized society. Not with just the general public, the general people. I'm talking about corporations. Constant corporation greed. If you look at where we are today, these guys here, eBay, these guys, 30%. That's what they take now. Doesn't matter what you say, doesn't matter how you go, 30% eBay. Amazon, 30%. Just Eat, 25 to 30%. Auto Trader, they were looking to take a massive slice, like $4.5 grand an account. Basically, what reminded me about what's going on with the Auto Trader system was brilliant. All the car dealers said, right, we're just going to go on strike. We're going to cancel the accounts. The Auto Trader shares just dropped 20, 30%. Auto Trader has really taken a slap for being greedy, because all the dealers said, no, we're not doing this anymore. And it's the way it's gone. The problem that we have with eBay is that eBay sellers and Amazon sellers, they're all divided. We are not combined as a force of human beings. We are not able to group together and say, no, 10,000 of us, if there was 10,000 sellers in the United Kingdom just said, we agree with your fees. We do not agree with your greed fees and your other punishment fees. Because remember, eBay have found new and novel ways of challenging money out of your accounts, such as if you go below standard, you're charged an extra 6% on top of the 20-odd% you're being charged at the minute, pushing the rate up to 30% of your cost. So basically, if you buy an item, say for example, from me at a 10 quid, and I would have to buy that at, yes, absolutely, we need an online sellers union, not just eBay, Amazon, Just Eat. All the takeaway guys are giving off about the costs. Yeah. Well, I know that I'm busy doing my own platform, and that was actually because of greed. Last year I spoke about this. I talked about the eBay greed, and I got absolutely hammered in every way I possibly could for speaking up about eBay greed. If you remember, it was literally, and that had made a massive... Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? Someone decided to call me. Can everyone hear me? I bet I'm blind. Am I deaf? Is it gone? No sound? All good. Ah, thank goodness. Someone called. Ah, good. So, and I got slapped massively and actually publicly humiliated by bots or human beings who work for eBay who continually tried to downgrade the reasons behind what I was doing. So I was absolutely slapped very badly. We had 12 weeks of non-payments. 2 of my accounts were closed down. They blamed batteries, they blamed my conformance or my lack of compliance with eBay systems. But I am simply saying I'm 24 years in eBay. And I've seen major notable differences in the way it's sold. And I don't like the way we are now. Not because of the fees, but because of the way we're being strangled on certain things, such as returns. They were called empathy returns one time. Now they're just called returns or get slapped. Accept the 30-day return window or get slapped. You're always below standard if you do not comply with their design of how to sell to your customers. Because remember, eBay's customers are not eBay's customers. eBay's customers are our customers. And if 10,000 sellers walked out tomorrow, eBay would collapse. But that's why they have us divided. And I heard Ricky Reseller. Ricky Reseller is a great eBayer, great guy. I have a lot of respect for him. But he was more or less saying it's his worth. We just have to sometimes accept that we're going to go below pay and just get to pay the bills and live. Just live and get by. But that's not what eBay should be. Sorry guys, can you see? Guys calling. I can't turn off the phone while I'm live. Sorry about that. Can you guys hear me again? Tell me you can hear me one more time. I keep getting interrupted with someone trying to call me. Can everyone hear me? Oh, good. Thank you. So, I want to do something, and I haven't the time because I'm so busy with all the things I do. So, I would love to get a group of well-spoken individuals who are eBay sellers and are as passionate about making sure that we protect our income. Whether it be the platform that I'm designing, all the trademarks have been done, all the domains have been registered, and the designs for the logos have all been completed. Trademarks done, name is to be introduced very soon. I just got a few more things to do before I go ahead and launch my preliminary crowdfunding situation, because the money that I'm going to do for this platform is going to be, and it is a co-op. This online selling platform is a co-op, and I've got people now behind it. Everything's standing by. I just want to make sure that I've got my P's and my Q's and my dots and my bits and pieces and my strikes all in place before I go ahead and do this work. It's very important to me to make sure it's right. But would it not be great to have a group of human beings who sell on Just Eat, who sell on AutoTrader, who sell on Amazon, eBay, and other middlemen, because that's what they are. That's all they were. They were producing the person to the buyer, the seller to the buyer, and they dropped themselves right in the middle between the sales. And as they continued to achieve success, they took more and more of a slice. And this is the problem, because it's pushed prices up for the consumer, because there is so much a person can sell for so much. The situation is the markets have massively changed because of it. So you can't sell tat on eBay anymore because of the fees. If you sell something for 10 quid, you're not going to make a profit. The same goes with Amazon. You find if you go under some of the things, you're selling some of this gear, and I assume yous are all here still. I think yous are. But you sell a book for 6 quid. If you don't charge postage, you're losing money. You're losing about 2 quid after fees and costs. So the situation is that they're taking most of the money and they take your bottom scoop. Anything more than that is yours. And that's the way Amazon works. They take your profit first, or their profit first, and you then have to suffer the remainder income if you get it. If you don't, markets have changed, and therefore availability of stock has changed. So by the greed of everything, everything's gone up in price. Food's gone up in price. You want a takeaway, you're going to be paying 20% to Just Eat for the pleasure of getting a takeaway from John's Chippy down the road. And that's greed. And that we are all struggling to get by, but we're not willing to commit to change. So we unionize. We're going to have to become a group of fellow human beings. I can't be the only one that's speaking on behalf of this. I cannot be the only one that does this. I need a group of people that are willing to submit time and money to joining and forming an actual online sellers federation. That if you had 10,000 human beings and you all decided to go on strike with Amazon, could you imagine how Amazon would then react? Because at the minute, they don't listen to us. They don't listen to anyone. eBay won't listen. Amazon don't give a shit. And Just Eat is not my forte, but I was with Booking.com. And Booking.com were once doing 8% fees. I hear with hotels now, the fees are approximately 25%. So Booking.com, being a middleman, are continually contriving more money out of the human being. And this is where they're the ones that are actually affecting our high street prices. And this is where it's doing well. The house revamp, which one? I've got 3 of them on the go. Yeah, I agree. Someone else to do the work. But the people that do the work on the likes of Just Eat is actually the chippy. John's chippy does it himself. He gets a delivery person to come and do it. Yes, of course, they've got their own delivery drivers in the cities, but where I'm from, they don't. They're done and employed by the local delivery driver. So what I'm trying to say is that the effort is more effort from John's chippy or Big Al's trading on eBay with less or the same effort that eBay done and Just Eat had done prior. They're just taking more money. And they're not taking it from the buyer. They're taking it from the seller. And the seller then has to put up the prices, which makes it unaffordable. If everyone does it, that's great. But that's not a good thing for the industry when you're having to take a slice before you even sell anything and give it to a middleman. Where did that go wrong? The middleman. If it started off as an online forum, it would be starting point to the take it to the next level, would be a membership of existing sellers. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, okay. Maybe I should do a forum. Not hard to set up. And start pushing it with my 43,000 or 42,000 subscribers. And my 10,000 subscribers on TikTok. And my 6,000 subscribers on Insta. Yeah, I think you're right. Because this is something like just... I started this at the start. At the start of my time, I wanted to push a group of people that could go to eBay and say, feck you. Just feck you. If you don't do as we ask, we're going to pull the plug until you actually commit to dealing with us. And I think numbers is important. And I thought about the union being, that we as union sellers, we pay £5 a month for a union group, which could be democratically elected leaders and staff. Well, staff could be admin staff, where we staff it and we put it forward. It would need an investment from someone. I just would need more people involved in this. We need to get rid of the middleman, or we need to sensibilize, if you call it, if there's such a word, there ain't a word really. You need to put common sense and address common sense into these money, greed, capitalist corporations, because they're peopleless. These corporations are swagging the money back to the US. It's not going to the UK. Amazon themselves just commissioned their accounts as making 500 million. 500 million pounds they made profit in the UK. Not one penny is being kept in the UK. It's all being dragged back to the US. And they paid zero corporation tax because they loaned themselves money to a point where their franchise in the UK is loss-making, but yet they had to pay 500 million pounds to the US company. This is my point. This is where it all goes wrong. Because I pay more tax than Amazon. That's not fair. Of course, they employ more people that pay more tax. They create more wealth that pay more tax. I agree. But I still find it pro rata. If you look at pro rata, I pay more tax for one person than, say, for example, someone like Amazon does. And that's not fair. That's corporate greed. I believe in tax advantages. I believe that we should all be able to take advantage of the taxation system. Whereas the corporations have large accountancy teams, really bright, the brightest of the world, and they can put 500 million through the UK coffers and not pay one penny in tax. There you go. So this is my concern. And this is why I'm on this new thing. I've got a lot of things going on. I'm buying 10 new properties this year. I'll get myself involved in more debt. This will be the first time I've ever leveraged any of my assets. This is going to be the first time I'm going to do it. And the reason why I want to do it now is because the prices of properties are going downhill. And that's because of the corporate greed. Because the BlackRock are buying up and nobody else is selling. Yeah. So, as far as I'm concerned, we do need to group together. And I will start an online sellers federation. Because it's not just eBayers, it's not just Amazonians, it's not just people who work at a chippy. It is absolutely, well, Josh, how are you? It is absolutely every single company or corporation that are constantly contriving more fees out of the middle ground. And they're taking it just from the seller, not from the buyer. Vinted themselves, to me, is the future. This is a person-to-person selling platform. A person-to-person selling platform that makes very little in fees. Of course, the future may be different. But today, Vinted are the only answer that I can see that's positive. The same as the platform that I'm producing. Mine is a cooperative where it's going to be done very much person to person. And if a customer chooses or if a seller chooses not that they do not want to take returns back, the buyer has to accept the terms and conditions which are applied to the sale. And if they do not like the terms and conditions, they don't have to buy it. Simply put. And if you want to compete more, you have to have better, more favorable terms and conditions for the buyer. That is the way my system's going to work. It's going to be very low fee orientated, but of course it has to pay for its own and wipe its own ass. But ultimately, I'm not interested in this organization being a high yield, high profit system. I want this to be a trading platform for traders, made by traders, so that we can actually exist. Like, as I said, Ricky reselling saying, oh, it's our lot in life that we just make even profits. It's not. We have to actually make money. That's what it's about, to better our personal lives. Of course, I was bettering 10 other people only last year. This year, it's just me. But I'm only doing 2 hours a day, and I'm making a hell of a lot more money than I did when I had 10 staff. Of course, I've got all this stuff listed because I invested in the listing process. It's all here. But not many people have that advantage. So they'll have to spend 4 hours to get the sort of sales that I'm doing. Can you hear me okay? Hopefully you can. It all goes downhill when someone calls me. And everyone's calling me today. No one ever calls me on a Friday morning. But yet we've had 3 missed calls so far. Anyway, what was I saying? This is the way I want it to end. I want us as sellers to make more profit, more yield. Rob, you can make more money. We could all make a bit more for ourselves, that we can afford to pay things like the expanding tax bill, the expanding council taxes, the expanding cost of living in the United Kingdom. And at the minute, what's happening is the sales continue to decline. People are grabbing for more. People are looking more bargains now. You know, they're not looking something, like as I said at the start of this video, this are my Freestyle Libras. I've been selling them 10% less because they are 50 quid each. There's 100 quid in that pack, 100 pounds. Customers saving 13 quid, and I sold all 48 of them. All 48 of them today. Crazy. 2,500 quid, just like that, overnight. Because people want to save money. And they need these medical things. These are medical systems. So I sold them. Within 7 hours, they sold out. And that's because I wasn't being greedy. I was actually going, I need to sell these. I'm sure I'll sell these over a couple of weeks. They sold in 7 hours. That's an indicator of the market. That I dropped it down 13% and everyone else was price fixing. But I decided to drop it a bit, sold the lot. There you go. So greed is what's stifling the UK economy. And Donald Trump himself has just decided to say he's banned Blackstone from buying properties in the United States, which is great. But BlackRock are here and Lloyd's Living are buying up home after home after home every day. They are basically repossessing on one hand and then on the other hand buying a bargain house for themselves. The sales of the houses when they're repossessed are no longer going to market. They're basically being transferred from one corporation wing of Lloyd's to the other, free of charge. So if you default on your mortgage after 10 years, you paid 10 years mortgage fees and interest only or something like that, and you've got a house that inflation has paid for, and the property's worth 200 grand, but you're in repossession, well, guess what? They've made themselves a complete fortune because they get a bargain house for free. That's the problem with that. There should be a critical thinking put on with this in regards to how a person or a company who finances mortgages, repossesses houses, and then becomes the landlords themselves. That there is something about conflicts of interest. And I'm sure it's immoral. I'm not sure it's legal. But yet the UK government, they're busy putting taxes up for people like you and me. And this is the problem we have with the society. Yeah. Again, you will own nothing and you will be happy. That's my point. You will own nothing and you will be happy. And I'm not happy. And I have a lot. But could you imagine how the world's going to turn out in the next few years if the Labour government continue to allow this to occur? The middle